Welcome to our webinar, Rest in Peace Tape Backups for IBM Power Systems, AS400 System I, AIX, and Linux. We're going to go ahead and begin. We're going to talk about a VTL solution for the I-Series and the other platforms I also mentioned. So this is a virtual tape library solution, lets you simplify your backup operations, reduce or eliminate the use of tapes for your backups. With this VTL solution, you're able to save backups to disk. You're able to save backups to NAS, SAN, or deduplication appliance. You can also back up to cloud for another layer of data protection, so for off-site storage of your backups for disaster recovery. Copying backups from local disk to the cloud is an option for you in keeping 2 copies of your backups. With the VTL, you have easy integration with BRMS, robot save, and any other I-Series backup commands that you can use to back up to disk instead of tape. You're able to gain a high-speed backup, so typically the backup speed compared to tape when you're backing up to disk would be twice as fast as tape. So you're looking at a backup speed of potentially well over a terabyte per hour compared to tape, which would be, basically half that speed. There's no limit on the size of virtual tapes with the VTL, so if your backup currently uses more than 1 tape, you can easily write a backup to 1 virtual tape. With this VTL solution, makes your backups a lot less complicated, and also restores of the data is quite a bit faster, and you get other benefits like backup compression, encryption, and of course replication of the backups for disaster recovery. So let's go ahead and look at the I-Series side environment for the VTL. So on this particular system, we have a tape library called TAP MLB V1. So this is my VTL tape device. This solution we call Vital. It's one of our LaserVault products. And so this VTL solution presents itself as a TS3200 tape library to the I-Series. As you see, there's a TAP V1 tape drive associated with that tape library that's allocated. So this can be used for my backups with BRMS, robot save. It's going to do the exact same function as a tape library would do without the tapes. So instead, it's going to be using files on disk, whether it's local disk that the VTL software is running on, or it's attached disk like network attached disk that you're saving to, as well as being able to replicate backups to another location or cloud storage, or even both. So this VTL solution is actually a solution that we developed here with our own company, which we have our own development staff. We're an IBM business partner and a Microsoft certified partner. So we have developed this VTL solution for the I-Series, AIX, and Linux. And the connectivity between the server that's running this software is either fiber channel or SAS connection from the host. And the software can run in a dedicated server environment or a virtual machine, and the software runs in the Windows Server operating system. So here we have our tape library that in this particular case is connected fiber channel. Again, the other type of connection you could use to connect to this VTL would be SAS from the host system. So we're able to use this exactly like we would a physical tape library. So it easily integrates with your current backup process, whether you're using BRMS or robot save or any other backup solution that works with a regular physical tape library. So there's the tape library available. It's varied on, ready to go. The software solution also includes a web interface that you can log in with your username and password. So we're going to log into the VTL solution. So this is the web interface that allows you to set up groups that would have access to the tape library to see the tapes, add more tapes, move tapes, so you can do things like move tapes into the drive if you need to, things like that. Export tapes, where if you want to take a tape and move it to another storage or cloud storage. So groups would have access. It could either be a user or a backup administrator, and the users that belong to those groups, those are listed here, so you can add more users if needed to access the tape library. This is where you actually configure the tape library. So this screen shows the name of the library, and here in the web interface is called Library 1. You can name the library whatever you want. There's a serial number that's going to show up in the iSeries side, so that you can easily see the serial number that fiber channel or SAS connection is set to that particular tape library. Shows one drive, just like you saw on the iSeries side, where we have the TAP MLB V1 and the TAP V1. And it shows the path in which the backups are being stored. So let's go ahead and edit the parameters of this library. The first parameter is the name, which you can name whatever you want. The library path is where the backups are being written. So this can be, in this case, I'm running the VTL software on a Windows server connected fiber channel to the iSeries, and it has an e-volume of disk that the backups are being written to. If you're going to write to a SAN or NAS, this could be a CIF share folder path, or a NFS or iSCSI mount. And in that case, you would be using that as your storage, so the backups would be written to that storage on your network or iSCSI connection. And that typically would be a high-speed connection from the LaserVault Vital server to that storage. Would be a fiber channel or 10 gig connection, because you can make the Vital solution a gateway, so it writes the data directly to the storage. You don't have to write anything into the LaserVault storage. The library path is set so that it can write directly to the storage, and the Vital server becomes basically a gateway. The export path you see here is if you want to take a tape that's in inventory and export it to another path. So this would be a cloud storage path. So exporting means you're taking the tape out of inventory. So it could be something that you ran a backup, you want to move that somewhere else out of inventory so that it doesn't get used again. And then you can bring it back anytime that you want, because there's an import feature that lets you bring that tape back into inventory, and then you can restore information from that tape. We're emulating Ultrium 5. Again, there's no limit on the amount of data you can write to one tape. The storage slots are set to 48 storage slots in this tape library, so I can create up to 48 tapes. You can actually increase that number all the way up to 4,000 tape slots. And if you set it to a certain number of slots, you can always increase it at any time. So you can have a tape library with up to 4,000 storage slots. The software also has some caching capability. It also has some multi-thread feature. So in the data, like this particular parameter here, allows the software to write the backup. Even though it's just one tape in the library, it can actually write the data anywhere from 0 up to 16 files at the same time. So this multi-threading process gives you the ability to tweak the performance of the backup to where if you need to increase, by increasing the number of data files that it's writing the data, would increase the speed of the backup. The software also has built-in compression. Check that box if you want to do compression. You can run compression during the backup and it will not slow down the backup. There's encryption, so the backups will be written in an AES 256 encryption. Replication and retention. This gives you the ability to copy the backups to another path. So we have three different options here. We have network path that you could make a copy of the backups, Amazon S3 cloud storage, or Microsoft Azure cloud storage. The great thing about these is that you can set for certain volumes, for example, all my test volumes that have test as the prefix of those volume IDs, I can set for those volumes to replicate to another path automatically. So it's going to automatically copy the backups over to that path so that I have a second copy for disaster recovery. Down below, it also has some retention features that you can enable to keep the volumes for a certain length of time on the local disk or network attached disk storage, and you can also set the retention on the remote storage. So you can set this up to where you can keep certain volumes as replicated volumes on the other network path. And this could be in any network storage that you have available at another location, at a co-location, at a disaster recovery location, third-party disaster recovery location, cloud storage, really whatever you want. That's the beauty of this solution, is that you have a lot of flexibility in what you want to use for storage and what you'd like to use for replication. So you can set this up for different retentions on the locals and the different retention on the remote copies of the backups. So you can set it up to where maybe you want to store backups at the cloud storage. For long-term backups, you want to store those for a certain amount of time, and you want to store those differently on the local disk. This is the tape library, which shows all of the tapes that are available in inventory. So if you go back to the iSeries and you do let's use BRMS, and we can take a look at those tapes and see those tapes that are available. Which is nice about this system, as soon as you add more tapes into the library, they automatically show up in inventory, and then you can easily go in and add those into BRMS, and they can be initialized, ready to go for your scratch pool of tapes that you're going to save to. So if I go ahead and perform a backup, so while that backup's running, we'll go ahead and go back to this web interface. And so what the backup does is going to automatically load a tape into the drive. And so there's the drive right there. You can also take and move a tape to the drive if you need to manually, because you can IPL from this. So this can be used as an alternate IPL device. And you can just go here and say move, and then select the drive to move that tape to, and it'll be ready to go to restore from or do an IPL from. So with saves and restores, it automatically loads the tape into the tape drive and gives you the ability to do saves and restores from BRMS just like you normally would from a regular tape. So there's the tape. It's loaded into the drive, and it's already started its save. So it's an auto loader, just like a physical tape library. And with restorers, you can go into BRMS. You can select whatever data, objects, libraries that you want to restore. BRMS knows which volume, so it automatically loads the volume for the restore. There's also, since I'm the backup administrator, I have the move, I have the delete tape, the export tape. Again, moves the tape from inventory to the export path. Protect, you can click on that link and that will protect the tape, so it cannot be initialized, it cannot be overwritten, cannot be deleted, and that would do just like putting a protect on a regular physical tape. You can click on the labels link and it'll show you everything that's in that backup, similar to a display tape, and of course that information can be saved in the BRMS database for when you're needing to restore information. But if you need to see what's on the tape before you load it into the drive, if you're going to do that manually, you can go here, click on those labels, and see all the information that's on that tape. So this is the web interface. You can go here to create tapes. You can put a volume serial prefix on your tape volumes. You can click the checkbox to create multiple tapes. This will tell you the next available slot, and then you can specify how many tapes that you want to create. So this is a really simple way to add more tapes into your tape library, of course without having to buy tapes. All you're needing to do, and you're not having to swap tapes, you're not having to remove the tape, the physical tape magazine, take those tapes and rotate them from tapes that are off-site. Everything's going to be completely automated in terms of being able to add more, being able to use as many tapes as you need into the inventory. being able to rotate those tapes with replication, you'll be able to replicate those tapes automatically for offsite storage. So anytime you need more tapes, just go here, create more tapes, add them into BRMS, and you're ready to go. So that is the web interface for accessing the backups. If you have any tapes that you've exported, you can click import, and it will show you a list of those tapes that you've exported, and you can select any one of those and bring those back into inventory from the export path. So what the solution looks like, you see that the backups completed. I have unload for the option for the backups completed. It automatically unloaded the tape, and there's the saved data. There are the labels of what libraries that were saved in that backup. And this backup is extremely fast, so you can be able to cut your backup time in half with disk-to-disk backup compared to tape. Alright, so let's take a look at a couple of diagrams here. I want to do this. So this is the VTL Appliance configuration where you have a SAS or fiber channel connected to a VTL Windows server appliance with disk space. This is showing where you can copy out to tape. So if you connect a tape to the VTL server, you can back that up to tape, and you can use that tape in an iSeries tape drive. You can use that as an offsite tape. You can have compression and encryption on the backups to the tape. You can also replicate between the two appliances, so you could replicate the files, and that of course would be an automated process. You can duplicate from tape to this, so if you want to take tapes and move them over to disk, you can do dupe media BRM. That command will copy tapes from your physical tape. It'll copy those to disk, and vice versa. You can copy from disk to tape with that same command, where you can copy media with the dupe med BRM command. So if you do need to add more fiber channel connections, if you need more tape libraries, more tape drives, you can do up to 16 fiber channel ports in one VTL server, and that would give you the ability to have, you know, more than one VTL, more than one tape device assigned to the VTL. Those VTLs and tape drives can be used on multiple partitions. They can be used on multiple partitions at the same time. You can run multiple partitions. You can run parallel saves, where you can use more than one device to perform the save to help increase speed of the backup. That many of our customers are doing that now. Okay, so yeah, this does work with, had a question about robot save, and yes, this works with robot save with a tape library. Works the exact same way as a tape library would work. So as you can see, you can configure the solution also to have a backup of the auto-replicate of the backups to cloud storage. And we mentioned other ways that you could replicate if you've got another location with disk storage, or you have two VTL servers. This solution, we offer it as a software only solution, where you can purchase your own server to run the software. We can help you acquire the fiber channel cards, but we also sell the fiber channel cards for the VTL server to make that connectivity to the iSeries, and also SAS as well. So it's not required to have any proprietary hardware for this solution. It's simply a Windows server that is connected to your switch or directly to the iSeries via fiber channel or SAS. And with this VTL software that we develop with our own programming staff here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you'd have full support for the software. We have technical support. We have 24/7 technical support for the software. And any hardware we provide is also on-site hardware support. Okay, so if you'd like to take a look at a custom demo, because we'd like to talk with you about your current backup environment, how many partitions you're backing up, how much data that you need to back up, what's your current tape device, or maybe you're running a VTL solution that you're looking to replace. We'd like to get with you and go over how we could configure this solution to best fit your backup requirements. If you do a custom demo, we do offer a $50 Amazon gift card that you would receive for seeing a demonstration of the product, and would give us an opportunity to better understand how the solution would work in your environment. So there'll be an email. Look for that in your inbox after the webinar to set up a online demonstration and receive the $50 gift card. So if you have any questions or quotes, here's some contact information: info@laservault.com, or you can reach us at that phone number in our sales extension 1001. We are giving away we have a drawing for this for the attendees of this webinar, a Bose Bluetooth SoundLink portable speaker. So look for an email that you are picked as the winner of that Bose Bluetooth speaker, and we will ship that out to you if you are the winner. And we'll see if you have any more questions. Installation can be done remotely. That's typically the way we install the solution, whether it's the hardware, whether there's hardware that we provide. We ship that hardware to you. Just connect the fiber channel to the iSeries or to your switch. But we can install all of the software remotely. We can help you get up and running remotely, and you'll be able to run backups that day. So if we start, the installation morning or afternoon, whichever that you want to, you'd start the installation. But our goal would be that you're able to run your first backup that night. So it's that easy to install. It's that easy to configure. We can also help you with any BRMS, robot save setup that you'd need to do, because we know those solutions. We're business partners with Robot Help Systems on the robot save application. And we also know BRMS pretty extensively because we help a lot of our customers with BRMS setup. You can use data deduplication appliances like Rubrik, Cohesity, Exagrid. Those are three of our deduplication business partners that we work with quite often, where if you're looking at any of those three solutions, Rubrik, Exagrid, Cohesity, our solution can be used to save directly to those deduplication appliances. And there's many others out there. To us, it doesn't matter what you use for your storage. It really can be any NAS, SAN storage that can be used to write the data directly to that. And that's what could give you the advantage in terms of saving money, where if you already have disk storage or you're looking at a backup appliance for your other platforms and you want to incorporate your iSeries, this is a great way to do that and use that storage for your backups and leverage that storage. Okay, so that'll be it for the webinar. I want to thank everybody for attending. Look for an email for a demonstration invite, and if you'd like to take a look at that, we'd love to show you. And then we'll do the drawing here shortly, and look for an email if you're the winner of the drawing. Again, thanks everybody for your time, and have a great afternoon.